Hey Internet, what's going on? Aaron here, and today it's how to not get sick anymore. I used to get sick all the time, like every 3 weeks, and it was bad. I couldn't get to work. I felt terrible. And then one day I just decided I'm going to do everything in my power to stop this. I educated myself as best I could, and I employed every technique that I could find. And since then, it's been about 6 months, and I can truthfully say that I just haven't been sick since then at all. Well, I shouldn't say at all. That there have been times where I had a bit of a sniffle or a sneeze here and there, but nothing like before. Barely even noticeable, which is quite magical. So here's the guide. In a high level, it comes down to putting less toxins in your body, putting good things in your body that empower and strengthen your immune system, reducing stress while also keeping a strong mental health, and finally having a backup plan when everything fails. Let's start with the first one, eliminating the toxins you put in your body. So there's toxins like everywhere. Some are going to be in your water. I made a video about a Santavia water filter, so I'll put a link below, but essentially it's just putting chlorine in your body all the time, as well as maybe heavy metals and pharmaceuticals or whatever else is in your water, is just going to put some load on your immune system and make it a little bit easier to get sick. Another one will be to wash your fresh, like your fruits and your vegetables, your fresh produce. What I do is I just take a bowl, I put a spoonful of baking soda inside of it, with water, and I just splash around my stuff for about 15 minutes, and then I rinse it off. So something might look like this. So I just put it here, then just rinse it off, and now everything's ready. So I'll just chop up these tomatoes, and now I have a very clean salad. It doesn't leave a baking soda taste on your food, so don't worry about that. It's a pretty good way of removing the pesticides. Another one will be with your cleaning products, like shampoo or dish soap, or like to clean your toilet or whatever. And usually what people recommend is, like, this is Dr. Bronner's Pure Castile soap. Castile soap is kind of the ingredient to make a lot of soaps and things like that. And with this, you can basically make whatever you need. You can make like dish soap, you can make shampoo, you can make cleaning products. I put it in my Swiffer. It's great. And the nice thing is you don't have a lot of those hazardous chemicals. Like I mentioned, we don't know if these hazardous chemicals are what's causing problems, but one thing's for sure is that exposure to them is not helping the situation. It's also useful to check out online, like the EVOO 20 or the topmost hazardous chemicals in your shampoo, for example. And what you will find is that a lot of the things that are in most common sold products have things that stack together, and it's really scary. Like, some of them leave your pores open. Other ones have, like, neurodegenerative effects, or they, like, just cause problems, like kill other cells or inhibit growth, or, really just stuff it's pretty terrifying if you think about it. Not everybody's using this stuff is having any problems. Most people don't even notice it. I didn't notice anything, but it's just another thing to get rid of so that you don't have that issue. Another one is not to use Teflon. Teflon's pretty much terrible. So you can use stainless steel. It's a lot more fun to use because you can scratch it and nothing happens. It doesn't even really scratch. And this is usually what you'll do for having like a light fry. And then a cast iron pan is what you would do for things that you want to have like a thick layer of crisp to them. So like potatoes, for example. Using a cast iron pan takes a little bit of finesse and patience, but it's super worth it. And you can get a stainless steel pan or a cast iron pan for very cheap because, well, people buy them and then they don't use them, probably because they're using Teflon. Teflon's hard to cook with, actually. Now that I use these pans, I don't even like Teflon because the food just slips everywhere and it doesn't really cook properly. The only advantage you get with Teflon is it's easy to clean, but if you have the proper ways of cleaning those pans, then you're fine. Another one, I guess it's hard to show here. It's more what you don't put in your body. So like you want to avoid plastic as much as possible. Wash your hands, stay clean, and also your air. You probably sleep in your bedroom and you breathe the air in your living space for 6, 8, maybe more hours. And if that air is not clean, then it's just more toxins you're constantly feeding into your body. There's a common myth that living in the city is going to give you more pollution and therefore you'll get sick. And it's true that city air is less clean, but relatively speaking, the air in your living space can be much, much worse if it's not properly ventilated, and you probably don't ventilate it very well in winter, which is why I recommend getting a HEPA filter or an air purifier, which will make your air just super clean and eliminate problems that could come from being in a negative airspace all the time. So what I do is I put a Lavoie filter like in my bedroom so that in the winter I just turn it on and keeps everything nice and clean. I think that's about the gist of it. So the next part will be like putting good stuff in your body. Let's see where to start. We have lots of good things here. When you're cooking, you want to use don't use polyunsaturated fats. Use like mono or like monosaturated, like extra virgin olive oil, or just eat extra virgin olive oil, drink it like just the way it is, pour it on your salad. This is great, healthy stuff to be putting inside your body, as well as coconut oil, also another nice fat. It says a lot of good properties in it. It's not going to cause you the same kind of problems that you'll get with like canola oil, for example. Another one would be not to eat like deep fried things, but instead dry roasted nuts. These are pistachios, for example. There's a lot of other excellent nuts that are good for you, like almonds and what else is there? Kind of going blank on that one actually, but it's good to just get those healthy fats in you, like cashews as well. Probiotics are very important as well. So your gut bacteria is a big player in how your overall health is happening, right? So if you have poor gut bacteria, you'll have a weakened immune system and a weakened digestive system, which will give you lower energy levels, and it just kind of cascades through. Most of your health, according to modern science, starts with your gut, and a probiotic will put new bacteria that is good for you, good bacteria, in your gut constantly, all the time. There are many different probiotics you can use. This is kombucha. I like kombucha because you can flavor it however you like, but there's also kimchi, water kefir, sauerkraut, sourdough, miso, and probably more. You want to supplement like things that are especially needed for you in particular. So I have a lot of hereditary anemia in my ancestry. So I take Floradix, which is an iron supplement, but it also has B6 and B12, which are very important for energy levels. Another one is to eat a lot of fish, or at the very least supplement omega-3 with like fish oil capsules, or I think these ones are, no, these are not flaxseed ones, but either way, omega-3, very good fat to be putting in your body, good for your brain. Another one would be a fiber supplement, so like some plant green extract kind of thing will keep your gut bacteria in super good check. As well as cacao. Most chocolate is actually just sugar, by the way. But if you get something with like a high percentage of cacao, that's a very good thing to be putting inside your body as well. Good brain food, good to keep you mentally sharp, which will in turn reduce your stress. And I think that's about the gist of it. You want to take in like the best quality food you can. So organic fresh produce is better than non-organic. Grass-fed organic meats will have less garbage in them that will tax your immune system versus just regular meats, that kind of thing. Ultimately, it costs a fair bit more, but you have to think about you're feeding into a better ecosystem by supporting that with your money, as well as this is money you're spending on your health at the end of the day, which is probably something worth prioritizing. Yeah, so I think that's about it for like food, but how do you reduce stress? Stress is kind of different. You want to be healthy, but you also need to be doing certain things to eliminate stress, because that alone can be something that will get you sick. One example would be to do a fair amount of exercise, but not over-exercise. Meditation, very good for eliminating stress. Just what makes you happy, right? Like, don't get too stressed out, right? Get a massage, go to the sauna, do things that you need to do to not be stressed, or eliminate things that are stressing you. It's a very broad topic, and I'm not going to be able to go into too much detail, but essentially you want to set yourself up to have minimal stress. And anything that is continuously stressing you over a long period of time, like for example, maybe you need to tell somebody something, or there's a thing that's going to happen like for another 200 times. Every time I walk into my apartment, there's this thing in the way or whatever, like do what you can to resolve those stresses. And then, if you can, it's good to be aware of your mental state, kind of like how to stay, sharp, like I find if I work out too much, stresses me out and it makes me more susceptible to getting sick. And then if I get really drunk, I get more susceptible. So if I work out really hard and then I drink a bunch of alcohol, these will cause problems. You want to eliminate that as much as possible. Let's say you're not stressed, you've got it all figured out, and great, but for some reason, just your luck, right? You're getting sick anyways. You want to have at least a final line of defense for worst case scenario. And I use these two things here. So this is elderberry syrup. Elderberry syrup is very good for promoting a healthy immune system and kind of keeping it active. I'll take it. It's more of a preventative thing, so you kind of want to take it if you feel like you might be on the path to getting sick. And usually this will make it so you take 1 spoonful of this, no problem. But if you wake up the next morning or things are still going downhill, here is the final line of defense, oregano oil. It's, what do they call it? An antioxidant. I think it's like antiviral or an antibiotic or something like that. I don't really know too much about it, except that it works very well. You just put 4 drops under your tongue. It's not the most pleasant experience, but after that, you will not be getting sick. That's it's pretty cool. It really works, and it's pretty cheap too. You just get a vial, and I've had this for I guess like 6 months now, and I've barely used any of it, because you probably won't need to use it if you're employing the other things, right? If you're doing what you can not to get sick, then there you have it. Which brings me to my question of the day. How often do you get sick? And do you think it's worth the trade-off to do all these things to not get sick anymore? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. I'll also put links for all these things. At least like the more useful ones, like the elderberry syrup or some books. It's very good to educate yourself on as much as you can within reason about nutrition and health and the immune system and how that stuff works, because any one of these things you can kind of just go into infinite detail, and if you just hear it from a YouTube video, it's difficult to really remember. One of the big ones that helped me out with avoiding junk food was the Dorito effect. I did a video on that, so you can check that out if it sounds like an interesting one for you. But essentially it will help you to avoid like candies and chips and things like that have natural flavors, which are generally just a way of hacking the body to destroying your health. Another fantastic book which will help you to not get sick anymore is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And this book actually directly covers how some products are designed to psychologically manipulate you. But essentially, your habits determine where a lot of your time goes. And if you're driving home, you see the McDonald's logo, you're craving the clown, understanding what's really happening there will make it so much easier for it not to affect you in the way that it normally would. And really, knowledge is power in that sense. So I would recommend those 2 books in particular, but generally just like keep yourself informed, like stay on top of it, and hopefully you can achieve the same results that I have and just not get sick, crush it every day. I would never go back. It's really great to have these things. One that I didn't mention was I supplement vitamin D3 in the winter. Just another thing that's linked to, good brain activity, good health there. You don't get very much D3 in the winter because you don't have sunlight exposure. And finally, before I conclude the video, I would also just say that, you want to kind of use common sense. It's very good to eat like vegetables and fruits and like healthy organic stuff. I don't think you need anybody to tell you what's actually not healthy for you. But just keep that in mind that, like if you can set your habits up so that you're usually eating better food that you made or doesn't have like a million ingredients in it or, especially natural flavoring and stuff like that, then you should be good to go. Cool. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you've made it all the way to the end, leave a comment below. Say, I made it to the end of this video, and I'll give you a reply. And otherwise, let me know what you think, and well, cheers.